and Neptune. We're talking about love, we're talking about money, we're talking about boundaries. It gets real really fast. And then we go into Mars entering Libra, and you are talking about a major grand trine, air trine. A lot of communication, a lot of clarity. So we'll get into that, and that's going to air trine Pluto and Uranus, breakthrough, strategy, clarity. Okay. Now we have also this month we have a Aquarius full moon. We got a Virgo new moon. You're talking about the truth. You're talking about systems, and Mercury stations direct, meaning it won't be retrograding anymore in the sign Leo. But then we got Venus entering Leo. We'll talk about that. All the heart, all the glamour, all the passion, all the fire, all that is coming up with some intentions, but we're releasing some confusions. Okay. So if you are here for all of that, you're excited to know what this month is going to bring you in a collective, then stay tuned.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
So, first, I want to talk about the dates of August. And we have August 1st. Venus is in the sign Cancer, is going to square Saturn, and Saturn's retrograding. Venus is also going to square Neptune, it's retrograding. Then August 8th, we have Mars with this grand trine, air trine. It's going to trine Uranus in Gemini. Mars in Libra is also going to be opposing Saturn in retrograding in Aries. We'll talk about those things. On August 9th, we have Mars opposing. If it's opposing Saturn, it's going to oppose Neptune. And August 10th, Mars is going to still be involved with this Air Grand Trine Pluto in retrograding Aquarius. This is positive. And on the 11th, Venus is going to conjunct Jupiter. This is also very positive too. So it's so far a very great month for us. You know, we have some negative things, but for the most part, it's positive. On the 15th, we have Venus trining the North Node and sextiling the South Node. Then on the 24th, we have the Sun is going to square Uranus. And then on the 25th, Venus is going to trine Saturn. Another positive thing. And on the 26th, Venus is going to trine Neptune and oppose Pluto, and it'll be in the sign Leo. This will be exciting for us. I think that so far, mostly it's great news. Now, other news we have here I'll say it in the order of the dates, but August 6th, we have Mars entering Libra. And then on the 9th, we have that Aquarius full moon. And then on the 11th, we have Mercury is going to station direct in Leo. On the 22nd, the sun will enter Virgo, and we will have a Virgo new moon. Once that sun enters Virgo, it will be at 0 degrees. We'll get into that. And then on the 25th, Mercury in Leo is going to retrograde post shadow phase. That will end. So it won't be retrograding, but the post shadow phase will end, and Venus will enter Leo that same day. Get excited. I'm excited for this month coming up. And actually, before I even pull up the chart, I want to tell you about the dates, us entering into Leo. Actually, I should show the chart. So we'll show the chart here. And let me see. How is everyone doing? How was everyone's weekend? Okay, so us entering into Leo. Let me pull up the exact date here. Venus is entered Cancer. We'll talk about how Venus disrupting some balance and harmony will be affecting us, because once we enter our August, we are squaring these planets that are retrograding. Uranus is still at 0 degrees, okay? Venus already is in Cancer, so it's very emotional. It's sensitive. There's a lot of heightened of love, money. A lot of when going to love, talking about the past and remembering the past, maybe holding some grudges when it comes to love. A lot, or on a positive side, being nostalgic and talking about an old lover. We're drawn to home, we're drawn to family. A lot of emotional intimacy and softness and self-care. A lot of loving of the womb and the uterus as well. Okay, great time for nurturing, healing, and reviving heart-based bonds there. Now, Uranus at 0 degrees. Just so we're very clear, this is a collective energy, and you're talking about shutting shifts in technology, in media, in AI, in education, in social movements. A lot of still people fighting for the cause, fighting for the underdog. Any minority group, we're fighting for that. Still a lot of protests out in the world happening, okay? Uranus at 0 degrees in Gemini also affects changes in our community, day-to-day travel, a lot of communication. So that's like emails, hand gestures, social media. If I think I said that already, right? Did I say that? I said media. At 0 degrees, Uranus is a full breakthrough energy, fresh disruptions. I want to think out of the box and everything that I just discussed. Also, even siblings and twins, maybe even redoing, because there's a duality with that Gemini. A lot of wild ideas, a lot of starting, a lot of wild ideas starting to take root and start. Okay, the mind is changing, the system is cracking, conversations are speeding up. It's a very fast energy too, and it's at 0 degrees, so that means it's very potent. Also, too, with starting this month of August, Pluto is retrograding. Any of these planets in red means that it's retrograding. So Pluto is also retrograding in Aquarius, and with that, we are revisiting themes because we are redoing, repeating, revisiting. Are we working? Are getting a lot of therapeutic things happening? And Pluto is the planet of power, of control, of systems, collective systems, intensity, breakthroughs, transformation. Now you have it in an Aquarius symbol. And Aquarius is kind of just like Gemini, a lot of communication, a high intellect, also an air sign, but there's secrets, there's surveillance, there's social structures, going deep and even getting into the taboo of any groups, any type of freedom of speech constantly when I look at Pluto retrograding in Aquarius or just Pluto in Aquarius. And it wants to examine our role in mass influence, rebellion, innovation, and digital life. Okay. And Uranus in Gemini is rebelling through words. Okay. So we have this freedom of speech being talked about and then rebellion of speech. So it's very interesting how we have that. Mercury is currently retrograding as we enter August. So I want you to understand that there's still some bold voices, a lot of egos, a lot of pride that's being reevaluated. Okay. We're rethinking how we express ourselves, perform, and share our truths. The drama is very real when you have Leo involved here. And look how close we almost have this Kazemi happening here. As we enter August 1st. So there's a lot of like awareness. Now, this is a more combust energy. So a little blindness of what is the truth here, but the drama is real, but also breakthroughs in creativity and communication and public image and being on stage. A lot of redoing and talking about that. Okay. A great time to edit your story, reclaim your voice, and revisit things that deal with the ego and confidence. Okay. Now we have Neptune retrograding in Aries and we have Saturn retrograding in Aries, and they are still conjunct and hugging. So they're basically one at this point. And that Saturn represents rebuilding identity, especially in Aries, right? And responsibility from the ground up. What are you accountable? Are you accountable for yourself? Are you being serious? Are you thinking long term? And that Neptune in Aries is about clearing up because it doesn't have the boundaries. When it's retrograding, the fog is lifted, the illusion of self is lifted, the illusion of honoring some leader is lifted. Any type of illusion or secrets or fog when it comes to the self is also lifted too. Now, together, there is a disruption with false confidence. Could be some toxic individuality energy there, and there's accountability with that. The ego based leadership, and now the fog is lifted, okay? Especially in Aries, you have themes of war, you have themes of independence, you have themes of boldness, masculinity, and a lot of bravery, okay? And impulsive energy, right? So, overall, this month, as we're coming into August, we are coming into some emotional introspection. That's with that Venus in Cancer, radical mental rewiring and moving fast, thinking out of the box when it comes to our words. That's Uranus and Gemini. The retrogrades with 4 major planets, right, is asking us to slow down and reflect. So be aware of that. Is it 4, 1? We got the nodes retrograding. We got these two, this one, Chiron and Mercury. So just be aware of a lot of redoing. And if you're like, why am I losing this? Why am I confused? Why am I lost in the sauce? Why are there arguments? Why I have to repeat this? Just take your time, okay? A push and pull between personal truth with that Mercury retrograding in Leo and a collective evolution still involving with that Pluto and Aquarius. Okay, so August is going to open up with some soft hearts and some sharp minds. Clear communication is very important as we go into this week. Okay, now if you guys are enjoying what you are listening to so far, okay, we got to do our call to action. And what is that? That basically reminds you to subscribe, like that button, comment, show me some love. Okay, I put in a lot of work in all my weekly videos and all my videos that I do. And yeah, if you want some free stuff, okay, I got some free stuff. I have a free newsletter just for you. This is where I put in the transits for the week. And I also put some bonus tips. So you don't have to reflect on, come back to a video. You can go look at the newsletter and you can say on Tuesday, we're supposed to have this. On Saturday coming up, that's supposed to happen. So I have the weekly transits down there with some extra bonus tips. It's free for you. It also helps me keep in touch with you in case something happens. So that's what we have free for you. And if you want to go deeper, you can join my private community. It's very good. Okay. And then connected to this video, I'm going to post, which I did last time, exact dates in August that are going to be perfect for love and romance, money moves and business wins, any type of manifestation and alignment. I'm going to put those dates down and aligned with the August transits for you, plus some bonus timing tips that you won't find anywhere else. Okay, so that is just for a price of coffee. You get all that information. So yeah, get excited. Let me see what we have here. Cancer, North Node, Juno. Okay. Well, I'm thinking, oh no, it says Cressier. Sorry, I said Cancer. Well, welcome, Sosa. I hope you get something out of this video. I hope you enjoy the astrology of the month. And yeah, we're going to get started. Let me pull back up the chart here. And if you want to get the horoscopes, I'm going to do that in the next video. And then also I'm going to do the tarot of the month of August too. So August 1st, since I have this up here, we have some disharmony and some confusion when it comes to money here. Okay, right off the jump, we have this at exact 1 degree. Is giving Aries, is giving self, is giving individual or something new, right? That's what that degree is. And it's squaring a cardinal square, something first, again, something starting for us, the collective. Okay, Venus squares Saturn and it's retrograding. Venus is squaring Neptune, that's retrograding. Okay, again, I told you what Venus is. It's the tenderness, it's the nurturing, it's the emotional, intuitive, it's the comfort in safety or in our past or in our ancestry or in our home. Okay, and now it's squaring Saturn and Neptune. And these two planets, again, you're talking about resistance, you're talking about restriction, you're talking about the government. Okay, confusion or some emotional blocks. So this is where love meets a limit. Okay, you are trying to have some harmony and balance, and now you're like, what? Why are we being negative? Why are we being pessimistic? Why is there rejection? Why is there loneliness? Why am I not enough? Okay, that's the energy. Saturn in Aries forces us to take responsibility for how we assert ourselves. The retrograde, it brings up old wounds. Around independence, around being selfish, around being impulsive, or maybe even a failed leader of some sort within a relationship. Venus wants closeness with that Cancer, but Saturn says not until you've proven what you've done in the long run. Okay, are you stable? Are you responsible? Are you accountable? That is what Saturn is here to say. And money, Venus is about our money, it's about our harmony, it's about our relationships, it's about aesthetics and beauty and creativity. And now it's got a heavy weight on it, so there's some tensions and it could be very heavy. If we're talking about the government, you're talking about the economy, you're talking about relationships across other countries, and now there's some limitations, there's some tensions around that. Okay, you may be reviewing commitments, financial responsibilities, or realizing you've been emotionally carrying more than what you're supposed to. It's like, we're not sharing this. Okay, where's the balance? Where's the harmony? Now Venus squaring this Neptune at the same time. Now, Neptune is retrograding. So the illusions is what normally Neptune represents. But when it's retrograding, there's no illusions. Saturn represents restrictions. And when it's retrograding, the restrictions are probably not there. Okay. And together it's like lost in a sauce. Really, it's really interesting. But Neptune alone, you're talking about illusions, disappointments, you're talking about emotional confusion. And now, because Venus is involved around love, around money, around beauty, around self worth. So you might be feeling let down. You might be projecting some fantasies because Neptune likes you to have a cloud of what really is going on. It's got the rose colored lens. And now you're projecting that onto someone, or projecting this fake relationship, or this fake financial situation as well. Okay. Neptune retrograding in Aries is also dissolving the ego, so that Venus in Cancer may cling on to an emotional relationship. And it's not real. There's no substance there because that Neptune is not making you see this. Now, we're talking about planets that are retrograding. So they're not working how they normally work, or they are making you repeat something so you can have some clarity and some awareness. Okay. Neptune in retrograding in Aries is dissolving the ego. Venus in Cancer may cling on to emotional. Oh, I said that right. Are you choosing love from a place of true connection, or are you just trying to be safe? Because that Cancer wants to be safe. That Neptune lets you know you're not safe here. There's no love, there's no oneness. Okay, so and it's probably something that you've already known before because it's repeating. Okay, so you got this double square of an emotional reality check. Okay, not an ideal day for clarity. Let's be clear. Emotional truth and karmic insight may be coming. Okay, so you may be feeling unloved, you may be feeling unseen. There could be something from your past and you feel emotional vulnerability there. Be aware of that. And it kind of makes me think of a situation that I just experienced the other day. And it's like, because Mercury is retrograde in Leo, it's like put that pride aside and have some clarity on the truth and really think about long term. Okay. Disillusioned by someone you placed on a pedestal. Also, too, Venus in Cancer could represent a home. A physical home and the love of home, and this home isn't really what it is. It's not bringing you long-term success. That also is what that represents. Okay, so don't force clarity. Use this day to really reflect and not act, because the retrogrades are not working. Okay, so really take in, write down, journal. Okay, be gentle with yourself. It's okay to feel vulnerable. You sacrifice too much emotional or financial energy here. Okay, yeah, great time to journal, great time to meditate. You want to have some grounded energy. You need to work on self-control, balance, harmony, healing, and compromising. This is a energy of dealing with relationships on not just like a loved one, friendships as well, female energy. So just be aware of that on that first day. Okay, now on August 6th we have let me scooch this over. August 6th, we have Mars entering Libra. Now, it's at 29 degrees on the 6th, and then on the same day, it will enter Libra. 29 degrees is like, hurry up, hurry up. We got to get into the details. We got to figure out our health. You got to move slow, but yet there's an anxious energy to really move slow. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, really take your time and read the contract, or really take your time and figure out how you're going to be successful, or plant your goals or day-to-day activities. Or Virgo is the energy of cleansing and diminishing. So we need to take our time and cleanse out all these things, but at the same time, we got to hurry up. Now, but this is really great. Right when it hits that 0 degrees, it's going to have entered this Grand Air Trine. And it's a rare energy, okay? And Mars is in Libra, and this is the energy of doing, pursuing, our action, right? Now you have even conflict. Now this is very positive because it's dealing with this air energy of Uranus in Gemini, and also this air energy in Pluto in Aquarius. It's making a triangle. This is positive, okay? So Mars is our action, it's our drive, it's our anger, and it's in detriment in Leo. It doesn't like, in Libra, it doesn't like being in Libra. Libra likes to be passive aggressive. Leo's like, I don't like conflict. Mars is like, what are you talking about? This is conflict. I'm here for the anger. So be aware of that. So it's not operating in its most comfortable space. And Libra rules, who rules Libra? Venus. So whatever Venus is doing is affecting our Mars, but it's all about our peace, our aesthetic, our harmony and fairness. Very opposite of Mars, and Mars is all about the self, and it's complete opposite because Libra is all about others. Okay, so Mars still is in fight, and justice is now involved. So it's really interesting. You're fighting for justice, you're fighting for equality, you're fighting for not the self, but you're fighting for relationships. You're even fighting for appearance, because that Venus is all about aesthetics. Okay, so think debates, think about indirect confrontations. I was thinking last year that when Mars was in Libra, I had a conflict, and I'm not scared of conflict. Okay, I got a Mercury in Leo. I'm all about the conflict. I'm really like, I'm here, let's confront the situation. And I had a driving conflict, right? Because Mars is also like how you drive. And the person was blocking me exiting. And normally I get out the car and, talk my crap, which is not safe. I don't recommend that for anyone. But this, Mars is in Libra. And I was passive aggressive. Instead, I took a picture of their car and was like, I'm going to complain to them about where we live. And, it's not my normal self, right? So I'm just trying to explain to you how that Mars and Libra operates. But now it's sitting pretty happy. So that makes me happy. But anyway, but Mars in Libra is legal battles, there's protests, justice fighting, a romantic tension, some sexual chemistry, people pleasing versus assertive boundaries, passive aggressive behavior, very strategic and networking. Libra loves to network. So people really being out there and socializing and really going to the parties and really going and, with grace and charm to get the things that you want. There's artistic passion, focus on fairness and conflict, but sometimes over idealizing that energy, right? There a lot of people won't be addressing things head on. Be aware of that. Or maybe they're deferring some decisions because they can't make up their mind because they really don't want to be in a conflict, fighting for aesthetics, fighting for their appearance, fighting for a substance, well, over substance. They don't want the substance, they rather just look good, okay? Energy diffuses through indecision or even trying to please everyone else. Just major people pleasing when trying to fight for something, okay? So get ready for that. Now, this grand air trine that we have here, this Mars dealing with Uranus, dealing with Pluto, is I'm excited about that. Okay, the air represents communication. Air represents socializing. Air represents the mental clarity, and intellectual energy. Air represents a lot of intellectual energy, clarity, truth. Did I say that? Let me see what else. A lot of collaboration. All right. Now, Mars and Libra through action, we're assertive. We're rethinking power structures, freedom, tech, and truth. We're having some deeper things, and we're really, when you're talking about this energy trining with this energy, that freedom of speech is going to be more harmonic, or it's going to really work with our aesthetics, or we'll be able to speak our mind about how we come across to others, our appearance, our beauty, or our creativity and our art. And now the power struggles, people trying to over control, or maybe things that were aesthetically not as pleasing, that were very taboo. Now that's going to work, and it's going to be dealing with more of the future, because this deals with something that's very taboo, right? Now Uranus in Gemini is also added to it. This is a very disruptive, genius kind of energy here, and now there's breakthroughs in technology. So anyone who's trying to really put things out there and make themselves feel the harmony, or deal with relationships, or something dealing with social media, the energy is there. This is a great time to really work with that. Okay. So it starts a little bit, it starts once Mars enters Libra. So August 6th, get ready for the positivity. So let me see what else we have. Empowered minds, sharper thinking, downloads with clarity, breakthroughs in ideas and conversations, a collective drive for innovation, liberation, any type of disruption of the old systems, like that old system didn't work. New systems work now. This is great energy, right? A lot of mental flexibility here, and it meets some bold action, because that Mars is very bold, it's very aggressive, it's very strong. So Mars brings the courage, and now it's bringing courage to new ideas. Uranus is going to bring the spark, ideas that are very out of box, and Pluto is going to bring the energy that's deep. So it's not like, we're not talking about surface level here. We can go even deeper, and we can have some long-term transformation. A lot of revolutionary collaborations could be happening with this. A lot of new alliances could be happening. A lot of new networks. Power is shifting from the individual ego to a collective mission. Justice, equality, mental strategy, all could be working with this. Okay. Mars in Libra is going to represent aesthetics, and now getting that breakthrough through that, and having some assertion and power and action and bravery. And it's going to work with Uranus and thinking outside of the box, and it's going to work with things that are very transformative and deep. So, very positive. Say what you need to be said, because there's clarity. With this energy, there's innovation, there's strategic energy. Mars and Libra asks you to move with elegance and not be so brute and forceful. If you have to communicate something, this is the time to do it. If you're like, I got to confront someone, this is the time to do it, because you're going to come with grace. You're going to come with elegance. You're going to come with some harmony here. And there's going to be clarity in your words. Okay. Let your mind transform your reality. This is the air trine, and your mind is your most powerful tool. Communication also is your most powerful tool. Okay. If you are a writer, if you are a publisher, if you are anything dealing with words, emails, anything, this is the time to do it. I cannot express it enough. Okay. So you don't even have to write it. You can say it with your words. It's going to be great. Okay. Now, on the 8th of August, We have Mars in Libra is going to trine that Uranus, which I already talked about, but it'll be more exact because it hit 1 degree. Then you have Mars is also going to be opposing this energy, okay? And we'll get into this. Now, it's still trying, it still has that air trine. So there's still some positivity, but now we also have this energy of opposition. Okay. This is very interesting because you're talking about restriction, responsibility. Karma is what Saturn also represents. Blockage, blocking your action, um, delayed also is what it represents. So there's a tug of war between your action and your accountability. Saturn in Aries wants you to go solo and focus on survival, while Mars in Libra is all about the relationships and collaborations and fairness and tact. So you may be having a pull between the self and the partnership. Be aware of that. So, erratic behavior, frustrations, extreme tensions, stress, negative consequences, flying by the handle. And it's like, what's going on? Okay. You could be feeling blocked in relationships or negotiations, confrontation and boundaries and rules and delays. Karmic lessons could be happening, confronting the fear. This is a planet that represents fear. I want you to understand that. Okay, and revisiting some old power struggles as well. Is this resistance? Is this resistance? Because this is a resistant planet. Something of patience and a time for me to pause. Okay. Now, also because it's opposing that Neptune retrograding in Aries. Neptune is delusion. It's drained. Motivation. It's also romantic confusion. It's blurred boundaries. Okay. Unclear desires. Okay. Now you may be feeling tired. Okay. You may be feeling confused. You may be having some second guesses. That passive aggressiveness is now ghosting or sacrificing, because this is a planet that likes to sacrifice the self. And there is a question about, should you be sacrificing yourself within this relationship? Okay. Now, this opposition is a manic, disorganized approach to life. There's scattered energies, there's feelings of doubt, a lot of negative, a lot of lack feelings, okay? Hidden motives are spiritual bypassing. Neptune represents spirituality, it represents belief. It could also represent religion if those two things are combined. And now it's not going, you feel lethargic in that energy, or you feel like your intuition isn't working, okay? Acting out of guilt, fantasy. Avoiding confrontation to keep the peace, but at a cost. Okay. Now, what do we have here? Let me see if I have it together. I wrote that. Okay. Now, them together. Okay. If you put these two together, because it's opposing both of these planets together, this is karma that meets illusions, right? You may fight. Wait, your fight may not be able to be in the present. Okay. This combo may bring old wounds, something from the past, some patterns, redoing. Okay. Boundaries are definitely tested. You're going to have conflict. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel confused. Okay. Now, but you still have this trine. So the importance here is to focus on communication across the board. This is not the time to use physical anger. If that is what you do, it's time to communicate, because that helps. Okay. So act with integrity. Do not be impulsive. Wait before making any big decisions, because there's some misinformation that could be happening, or some fog here. Or maybe there's a spiritual practice or art, or maybe you need to practice your spirituality, create art, and nothing's wrong with prayer. Nothing's wrong with a good prayer. Okay. So that is what we have. I hope that is making sense. Let me see. Okay. Do we have any questions? Okay. I want you to understand, at the beginning of August, you got that Venus in Cancer is squaring the involvement of Saturn and Neptune. Saturn and Neptune is affecting people. Okay. And then you have this Grand Air Trine where communication is very positive, and there's clarity and there's insight. And then on the same side, you have this opposition again with this government. Saturn represents the government, with the CEOs, with this infrastructure, with these people in uniform, and also too, they're giving illusions, or they're operating in secret. Neptune represents the secret. Okay, so be aware of that. But the clear sign is here, you still have that air trine, and that air trine is going to focus on socializing, communication, clarity. Use your mind throughout this whole thing. Okay. because that Saturn and Neptune is of self, and everything else is of the mind and clarity. So the mind is very powerful at the beginning of the month. And speaking of the mind, okay, we also have on the 9th of August, we have a full moon in Aquarius. It's going to be at 16 degrees, and Saturn is the traditional ruler of this full moon. So you have it being a little lost, but it's retrograding, so maybe the loss is lifted. Okay, now we have, let me see, blurred boundaries between reality and fantasy. That is probably going to be the main theme of this Aquarius full moon. Last time we had an Aquarius full moon, I think it was the DNC, the Democratic National Convention. And Kamala has a full moon in Aquarius, or she has something in Aquarius, maybe an MC in Aquarius, and it was sitting on top of that. But now the Aries themes are also involved with this full moon because Saturn is in the sign Aries. So again, identity and self and action of self. Okay, anything karmic is dealing with this as well, and being accountable is dealing with this full moon. Let me see if I had anything else with this full moon. 16 degrees. Yeah, that's what I have so far. We'll get into the full moon a little bit later, but full moons bring emotional peaks. The full moon is part of a cycle, right? And now it's like halfway. And now this halfway is like, wake up. I need you to see this. There needs to be an enlightenment, right? But this one may be feeling a little bit mudded. It may be muted. It may be foggy. It may be heavy because you have that Saturn as a ruler and it's sitting next to Neptune. Or maybe you'll be feeling it with that Neptune, or maybe you'll be a little more spiritual with that Neptune. So be aware that you're being asked to sit in the discomfort. Anytime there's a full moon, it's not about action, it's all about sitting with your feelings. Okay. Now, again, I talked about that Uranus. Oh, Uranus also is the modern ruler of this full moon. And remember, it's sitting at a grand trine. So there needs to be any type of communication if there's high emotions. Be aware of that. Okay. Let me see what else we have. Yes. Okay. Aquarius full moon themes: rebellion, rationality, collective awareness, a lot of themes of friendship, a lot of themes of community, a lot of themes of future or being out of the box or being different. Yeah, maybe there's solitude, but maybe there's socialization. Aquarius is a fixed sign. It's very stubborn. It doesn't want to change. So there now it's involving the emotions, and it can't quite see eye to eye with the ego of the self because it really wants to focus on the people, and also very future focused vision energy. Okay. Oh yeah, I do have some things here. It will be squaring Juno. It will be sextiling Ceres and Aries. It will be opposing Vulcan. Yes, and then we have the ruler over there sitting next to Neptune. So overall, releasing of some friendships could be happening. Also, maybe a group could be stifling you as well. You could be getting real with your legacy. Stay open to any surprises. Honor both your weirdness and your wisdom. Okay. Now, Mercury that same day will be opposing. Well, not that same day. I didn't. Oh well. Let me see if we move it forward. No, why do I have Mercury opposing? Well, okay, just that same day, it will be opposing, as we have this full moon, it will be opposing, not exactly Pluto that same night that we have that full moon in Aquarius. So be aware of that because it's retrograding and Pluto is retrograding. Some redoing, anything mental intensity or verbal confrontations or shocking revelations, authority figures of some sort, institutional or public personas, something on stage, something of a love interest, and there's something deep here happening that's very transformative. Be aware of that, okay? And we'll go into a deeper of the Aquarius full moon later. Now, August 10th on another video. Also, August 10th, we have Mars is still with the Grand Trine. Okay, did I go deep enough of the Grand Trine? Anytime you have any air element themes, you're talking about words, you're talking about ideas, and they become the power of tools. The tools that you use for power. Okay, great time for negotiation, peace building, being assertive. Ideal for any type of group efforts, any type of team. Aquarius represents the team. So any of that, okay? So be aware, not be aware, but use that energy. Now on the 11th of August, Mercury is, where's my Mercury? Mercury is not retrograding anymore, okay? It still has a post shadow phase happening, but now it's direct. This is very positive, okay? After weeks of retrograde, reflecting, miscommunication, arguments, and fights, and people being bold, it's like the audacity, expressive energy. Now you can speak with confidence, and hopefully the conflict will clear, okay? You can speak from the heart. You can have clarity in conversations. There's creative breakthroughs. There's authenticity is going to win because you're really being yourself. Be aware of that. Venus is conjunct Jupiter at the same time that this stops retrograding. This is very, very positive. So now you have the confrontations being lifted, and at the same time, there is a sense of big love. These are two positive planets sitting and hugging each other. You're talking about love to its fullest. You're talking about expansion of harmony and peace and love and charm and grace and beauty and aesthetics and creativity, and being optimistic about that and being positive about that, being positive about our international relationships. If you're talking about on a bigger scale here, this is also law, a big theme of law. Jupiter represents law. Venus represents justice and fairness. So, but it's in the sign Cancer. So you're talking about blessings around the home and family, financial and creative overflow. This is great time for making your home beautiful. Heightened intuition, a very sentimental energy, trusting your gut. Make or give sentimental gifts, reflect on your family and legacy and heritage, receive or give support. This is also getting major support, maybe major support from your family or major support from your past, okay? So very positive. Now, anytime you have conjunctions, you do have the negative and positive, okay? But it is very strong. So be aware of overgiving, be aware of emotional codependency, be aware of overindulging, avoid conflict through being nice, okay? Clinginess, and yes, be aware of that. Idolizing a relationship, an old relationship, a family relationship, misplaced trust, or romanticizing something. Be aware, see the best in people even when they not deserving it, could be happening with this, okay? Now we have the moon in Pisces. Why do I have this happening? Oh, at the same time. Okay. So the moon is the ruler of this conjunction here. And now the moon is sitting next to things that you need to release and let go. Okay. So emotional intuition, now karmic alignment is happening, right? Soulful connections and spiritual growth. You're talking about your empathy. You're talking about just very sensitive energy, and now it's conjuncting something that you need to release and let go, and something from the past, okay? So be aware of that because it is ruling this conjunction. We're going to talk about this as it gets closer, but I want you guys to be aware and get excited about this because this is a lot of love, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, but on a positive side, okay? Also too, if you're trying to get a home, this looks like it's going to happen here, okay? Now, what else we have? Trine to Venus, and what's trininess here? What do I have in my notes? That's trine. Why do I have that? Oh, this is a trine. This is giving a trine as well. So the moon is trining this conjunction, which is very positive as well. Healing, forgiveness, compassion. Pisces is all about releasing, divine timing, receiving love, care, abundance, a lot of psychic, intuitive energy as well. Okay. I am filming and you're whistling. Now, August 15, Cash, next time just text me, okay? Cash. I can hear you. And next time, text me. Sorry about that. Real life, real home. Venus in Cancer is also trining the North Node, and this is going to be on the 15th. Again, another water, positive, intuitive, great energy for a lot of love, okay? A lot of faded love, a lot of emotional healing, a lot of soulful creativity. So now it's trining the North Node. Where's my North Node here? It's sextiling the North Node, it's trining the South Node, okay? So when you have this energy, sextile, sextile means that if you put action towards it, it will work. So the North Node represents things that we're supposed to be doing within this lifetime. Things about the future, your karma, your natural karma. And now it's trining things that we're supposed to release and let go in the past, are things that we're very familiar with and comfortable. And we have these tools already. And when you have it in a water sign, you're dealing with your emotions. Cancer represents things of the past, a lot of gentle, nurturing kind of kind of energy, a lot of love, values, emotional connections, and it's aligned with a greater purpose or a greater release energy, okay? Relationships that could be healed, feeling safe, feeling sacred, um, feeling that you can sacrifice something, or feeling that you can forgive and release and let go and let God. A lot of compassion, a lot of empathy, a lot of emotional honesty, nurturing others and honoring your ancestral or family, or even your home as well. Something could be coming for you and landing it on your lap from your home, at your home, and it's very intuitive, or it's something from the past, or someone's coming in your home, in your safety space, and they're like, I want to forgive you. I'm ready to release and let go. Or you could be doing that, okay? Now, August 16th, see all the positive things here. Now, this one is a little interesting, okay? Now, Saturn is going to hit 0 degrees. Now, when it hits 0 degrees, that means it's very pure and very strong, and it's retrograding, okay? I want you to understand that Saturn represents the government. It represents some type of corporation, a CEO. It represents a father figure. It's the father of time. It represents karma. It's retrograding. Something's getting fired up, okay? It's in the sign Aries. Aries represents the self. It represents war, okay? Remember I told you Saturn represents the government. Aries represents the fight. It represents bravery. And now it's retrograding. So if something's not quite working as it should, or something's being repeated and it's very pure, okay, so you could be thinking about authority and it's redefining authority, the ego versus responsibility, instant action and measured responsibility, leadership, redoing leadership. Is this a great leader for us? I'm not sure. Let's redo it. This is a karma reset. Okay, foundations in leadership. Saturn represents a foundation, represents the structure. That could be shaky, that could be redone. Identity, the foundation or structure of yourself, the foundation or structure of action. Be aware of that. Anything dealing with discipline, structure, it's redoing. It's very potent. It's very strong. Aries, 0 degrees, very, very strong. Okay. Aries is a fire sign. So there could be like a fire of an infrastructure and that could be burnt down. But it's something new as well as what Aries represents. The collective may take a pause before launching something. There could be a break free kind of energy, an energy of self mastery. Let me see. Anything political, you're dealing with leaders. There could be a reevaluation of that. Public figures, people who have this father energy, this mentor energy, this elder, because it's kind of representing old age too. There could be facing some consequences as well. Social movements reflecting anything long term strategy, far as the self, far as something new, something that's getting started. Okay. Spiritual energy, fighting military authority, because we have this conjunction here still. Be aware of that. The confusion in leaders or military agendas, maybe a hidden war. This could be a cyber war. This could be a psychological or spiritual welfare. Again, Neptune can represent not just spirituality, but religion. It's connected, okay? The collapse or reform of a system. Saturn represents a system. Neptune represents dissolving. Aries represents forcing it to happen, okay? So institutional breakdowns or cover-ups, movements may rise to reclaim individual power. Possible fall of false prophets. Rulers or celebrity leaders who once symbolized hope or control. So this will be very interesting to see what's going to happen in the middle of August. Okay. A collective awakening, a crisis of identity. Maybe Aries is saying, like, who am I? With Saturn and Neptune there, people are a nation. Or is that me? Do I identify with this nation? Or what illusion have I built around my identity? Crisis around masculinity. Aries represents that. Divine purpose, and spiritual sovereignty as well. Okay. The rise of visionary or delusionary leaders. Again, resistance to reality, collective dreams versus harsh reality as well. The end of old times, the beginning of new realities, aligned dreams with real responsibilities. This is the beginning of the cycle of this energy. Anytime we have a conjunction, this is the beginning. And when this sucker squares that, this is another issue. And then when it's sextile, it's another issue. This is the beginning of a journey. So let's see how this plays out. I just want you to know that when you have conjunctions, you're talking about the seed. This is a seed, right? And then when you have the sextile, when Neptune or when Saturn moves to a sextile, then you have the opportunity to grow. And then we'll have the square and a crisis will come back up for anything that's starting. So get all the things that we have right now. I should write them down. We'll remember 2025 for sure. And these things will be coming up when there's a sextile. Then it's going to come up when it's a square. Then it's going to come up as a positive thing when it's a trine. Then it's going to have an opposition. And then it'll bring full awareness in too. Okay. Yeah. So August 22nd, we have the sun entering Virgo. So this is a happy solar return to all my Virgos. Right? Happy birthday to all of my Virgos. Very amazing. I'll go into the details of everything that the sun, all the transits that the sun has. But anytime the sun enters Virgo, well, remember it will be exiting Leo. Looks like as it exits Leo, the moon is sitting there all up in our business. So it's going to be very emotional, a lot of conflicts. Get ready for that. Emotional with leadership as well. Okay. Then it enters Virgo. And when you have it entering Virgo, when you have it entering Virgo, did I miss the new moon? Is the new moon okay? The new moon is there. Okay. So we'll just talk about the sun entering Virgo. Anytime you have the sun entering Virgo, you're talking about precision, you're talking about healing, you're talking about rituals, you're talking about routine, you're talking about your health, you're talking about discernment, you're talking about service to others, organizing, cleaning, diminishing, a lot of improvement, focusing on the details and moving slow, a desire to simplify things, an increased awareness of flaws. Mercury is in charge of the sun now. So whatever Mercury's doing in its drama full stage is going to be affecting the way we are and the way we are giving our energy as well. Also, too, it's a Virgo mutable sign. Things like to change while you're in Virgo season. Also, Earth sign, things are very practical, it's very modest. There's a lot of meaningful progress. Nervous energy, too, could be happening around this time, too. Virgos love to worry. Okay. Now we have the Virgo new moon happening. And the Virgo new moon, from my remembering, is at 0 degrees. Let me see. Calculate. We'll do second chart. Yes, it's at 0 degrees here. Okay. So when it's at 0 degrees, 0 degrees is very strong. So this new moon in Virgo is going to be very strong for us. Get ready. August is huge. Okay. Now, it also will be squaring this Uranus here. It's also going to quincunx because it's going to be at 0 degrees. Saturn. Even Neptune is sitting next to Saturn. It's also going to quincunx Pluto. Okay. So this new moon, usually new moons are about setting intentions, but it doesn't seem as positive as you want it to be. The details and the clarity of things. Okay. Now, when it's squaring Uranus, there could be a surprise and you're trying to manifest some themes that everything I said. So a surprise as far as your health, some discernment, something out of the box as far as your ritual. Just be aware of that. We'll get into that a little bit more as we do that. The Virgo full moon is a cosmic clean state. It's rooted in earth energy. It's guided by logic. None of that la la la. I feel the vibe. No, okay. It's also wants to refine, it wants to heal, and wants to improve. Yeah, and it likes clarity through simple things. It's very practical, mind body connection here, and a lot of service with skill and details. Okay. Yes, we'll get into the what you should have your intentions for. Now, when you have Uranus there, there's sudden insights, disruptions, or mental overstimulations. There could be a big shift in a message, in a mindset, in information. You got to be flexible. Okay. Now, it's going to quincunx that Saturn and Neptune. Did I say quincunx? What did I say it was posing? Why did I say it was quincunx? Did I say it was posing anything? No, I didn't. Okay, it's quincunx both of these. Okay, so now when it quincunxes this energy, anytime you have a quincunx, it makes things feel uncomfortable. Okay, there's some type of energy is making it uncomfortable. Okay, so it could be a clash from your dreams and your responsibilities. There could be confusions around your goals. Are you feeling blocked? Are you feeling uncertain? And it's not coming off very modest, or it's not very realistic. Spiritual adjustments and restructuring needed. uh things that are needed for long-term healing or something health-wise, because Virgo represents the health. Now, when it quincunxes Pluto at the same time, inner power struggles, feeling the pressure of transformation or healing or psychological healing. Systems are shifting, personal and collectively, letting go and seeking alignment, not domination. This is a planet that likes to control, and maybe someone's trying to control the details of something or your health. Okay. Now, when you have it 0 degrees, remember it's potent, it's very strong. So it's starting fresh with clarity, letting go outdated perfectionism, working through chaos. Remember what else is sitting next to here. Here is this the eclipse is also coming up too. That makes me think of the eclipse. September 7th, I need to do a video on this. We have a Pisces eclipse. And then Virgo, we have an eclipse September 21st, and that's going to be at 29 degrees. That's going to be a bigger eclipse as well. Okay. Now, being realistic about what's sustainable, awakenings to truth in your daily habits and service roles. It's very raw, 0 degrees, very raw. Okay. A lot of the earth practical things is meeting air, is meeting fire. Yeah, and a lot of power energy here. So be aware of that. We'll see how this goes, and I'll get into more details of that when we get closer to that. But this is a warning, okay, about the new moon. Usually, new moons are about manifesting. There could be some problems there. Okay, now on the 24th, where is my chart? Okay, on the 24th of August here, a lot of people are calling me. It's very interesting. Every Monday I do this. The sun is going to be squaring Uranus. So, and it's still with that new moon. That new moon was there. So now it's still squaring us here officially. Okay. So, again, a lot of disruptions with plans and priorities and being perfect. Virgo likes to be perfect. So, you do have that energy. Why is my mouse not working? Okay. This is annoying. Hold up 1 minute. I am on August 24th. In glitches, Mercury is retrograding. It's fine. We will have patience. Yeah, so a lot of unexpected disruption in plans and priorities. Virgo likes to be perfect. It likes to. It's very critical of the self, and even critical of others. So, but there may be some changes in schedules. Maybe changes in work, because this does represent work. Or it may be in your daily habits. Maybe there's a mental breakdown happening here. Feeling pulled between logic and that Gemini is very innovative, or duality, or multitasking. Yeah, this is a mutable square, meaning that there is a change and you don't like to change. Okay. A lot of shakeup and process information. Why is my thing keep freezing? Very interesting. Come on. And then it went right back up. Why is it doing that? Okay. Now I gotta use old school. It's like my mouse won't work with it. Okay, stay flexible as I'm doing here. Don't overthink the shift. Innovate. Innovate through frustration when you have this square happening. Also, your nervous system, give it a rest as well. Okay. Now, Mercury is going to, on the 25th, is going to officially stop all this messiness with this retrograde. It will actually, the post shadow phase retrograde will end. The clarity returns. Okay. Yeah, feeling bold, being creative. Uh, not looking like a showboat when you're actually just trying to have some confidence here. All that theater, being a theater darling. Okay. Being on stage, a lot of pride with your ideas. All that will start lifting. Public speaking, signing contracts. Also, too, this deals with athletes. So if you got a signing contract with athletes, this works. Also, too, Venus will be very pure and it enters Leo. So, once you get this energy lifted, Venus immediately enters Leo and it opposes that Pluto in Aquarius. Okay. But Venus and Leo alone is about romantic spotlight. It's also about being generous when it comes to relationships. My notes just disappeared. Venus in Leo is bold. It's very romantic, darling. Also loving creativity, any type of like hobbies, having fun like a kid, or even loving your kids. Self-worth and confidence, creative flourish, loyalty and love. A lot of support to the riches, very flamboyant thing, loving that, like the Versace kind of energy. Royalty and leadership also represents this, okay? You're talking about red lipstick, you're talking about big hair, you're talking about cheetah print kind of thing. Love language is adoration, loyalty, and being seen. The style is very gold, is very Versace, designer, luxury, regal flair, very like gaudy kind of energy. That's giving a little Sagittarius as well. You could be overspending though while Venus is in Leo. Be aware of that. Our pride and love are needing too much validation as well. We'll get into the good days of Venus entering Leo. But while Venus is in Leo, it's a great time to say yes. Don't settle or for being ignored, because it's like, you know what, that doesn't bring me harmony. Everyone look at me. Just like you love yourself while Venus is in Leo, and be generous with any affection. Again, Venus is going to be very interesting here because it's going to have a trine, a fire trine here. So the fire trines is really something that's going to land on your lap that is very passionate, that's very strong, that's very courageous. And then it's opposing at the same time this energy here. Okay. So we close off August. Very interesting. I don't know why my thing does not want to work for me. You know what? Let me pull it here. This is what happens when Mercury retrogrades, but that is all fine because we know how to adapt and be flexible. And I just want to give you all of my notes because I don't want to forget. I tend to forget and I really regret forgetting. Let me see what we have here. A loyal love, grounded self-worth, creative responsibility. Now, when you have that trine here, this here, this is love. This is also long-term love here. So that's really great. Magnetic attraction, glamorous aesthetics, compassionate love. And yeah, this is a great time to think about love in the long term. This is a great time to, if you have something of charity or creativity and you want it to be taken seriously, this is a great time to be very creative and artistic and for people to take it seriously. If you're, again, trying to have a long-term relationship and you want compassion and love and devotion, also that's a great day to do it, or a great time, because it's not the exact day. Sometimes you get that feeling. Also too, with this opposition here to Pluto, let me make sure. Okay, to this opposition of Pluto here, this is when it's like, we love the gaudiness, but now we are learning that these name brands that are very gaudy, there's a shadow side to them. So be aware of that. There could be a transformation and it could be dimming some light for us, like a loved one or a love interest. But Pluto is very intense, and now it's adding intensity that is not quite good. It can't see eye to eye, and you're just trying to be superficial. You're trying to be balanced and harmony and fair. But no, Pluto is like, no, we need to overpower, we need to control, we need to add intensity. Things that are very taboo could be coming to light when it comes to aesthetics of Leo. Okay. Don't shrink for anyone, be bold, be honest, and let what no longer aligns you fall away. Very power struggles that are very passionate as well is what we have here. Okay. So yeah, that is what we have. That is the closing up of August. I hope you guys enjoyed everything. Yeah, let me know if there's anything extra you want to know. You can write them. I know this is live, but you can write them down below. I am going to do horoscopes in the next video. I don't know if I'm going to do tarot or horoscopes next. We'll figure that out. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening via podcast, because I also have a podcast as well. I do want you to do one thing before you leave. Sorry, I have it on repeat, but I just want to make sure you guys like, subscribe, and join this community. All right. And yes, I will see all of you guys next time. Hopefully, it will be tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I take this step by step, day by day. I am human. If not tomorrow, it would definitely be the next day. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.